welcome to another GCSE revision video. In this video we're looking at the AQA past paper. This is part of the 8300 series. These are the new style GCSEs that go from grades 9 through to grade 1. We're looking at the second paper in the higher tier. It's the June 2017 past papers. And this is the introduction where we just look at the start of the paper and look at the instructions. So the first thing we come across is this great big square thing here which says centre number, candidate number, surname, forename. It says please write clearly in block capitals. The important thing here is if this is already filled in, do check that the information is correct and sign your paper. If you do not complete this section, or if it's completed incorrectly, that means that the examiners won't be able to put all your hard work against your name and you won't get credited for all that work that you've done. So as stressful as the exams are, do make sure to put a lot of effort onto this very first part just to make sure everything is correct. Otherwise you stand a chance of getting the wrong mark. Okay, it says for this paper you must have a calculator and mathematical instruments. For mathematical instruments they generally require you to have a ruler, a pencil, a protractor and a compass. Don't skimp on these instruments because these exams could make a difference to your life. And if you've got one of those cheap compasses where you open it out and it just falls back down again so you can't draw a proper circle with the compass, then you could be throwing away marks for the sake of a few pennies. With regards to the calculator, sometimes you can borrow a calculator off the invigilator, but really you should take your own calculator that you are familiar with, the one you've been using all through your course. It's not fun when you're under a time pressure and you're trying to look for the sine or cosine buttons and how do I do arc sines or inverse sines on this calculator. So it's really important to know where all your buttons are so that you're not wasting time looking for them, and also to know how your calculator is programmed, because some calculators are algebraically programmed and some aren't, so the order in which you press the buttons can make a difference, and that varies from calculator to calculator. So use your own calculator that you've studied and that you're familiar with. Okay, the instruction says use black ink or black ballpoint pen, draw diagrams in pencil. The main reason for that one is that some scanners don't scan blue ink, and if the examiner can't read your answer, they can't mark your answer. This one, answer all questions, I would take with a pinch of salt. What it's basically saying is every single question will be marked, but if you can't answer the question, just move on to the next question, answer that one, hoover up all the marks that you can get, and then come back to the questions that you can't answer if you have time at the end. You must answer the questions in the spaces provided. Do not write outside the box, around each page or on blank pages. Again, the spaces provided, that's what's scanned. Stuff that you write outside that area might not be scanned and therefore might not be marked. Do all rough work in this book. Cross through any work you do not want to be marked. You often get, especially in multiple mark questions, you get more marks for your working out than you do for the actual answer. So the working out is every bit as important as the actual answer. For information, it says the marks for questions are shown in brackets. The maximum mark for this paper is 80. Now the time allowed is 1 hour and 30 minutes, so that's 90 minutes, which means if you budget 1 minute for every mark, you should have 10 minutes left at the end of the exam to go back and check your work. You may ask for more answer paper, graph paper and tracing paper. These must be tagged securely to this answer book. That's really important if you do ask for extra paper, that it's tagged securely, because if it comes apart then the work that you do won't be credited to you because the examiner can't trace who you are. The advice says in all calculations show clearly how you work out your answer, and that's very important. Again, as I said, you get marked for the working out that you do as well as for the actual answer. And the only other advice I like to say is do go toilet before the exam. That you do get, you are allowed to go to the toilet during the exam if you're desperate, but you're not given any extra time, and time means marks. Okay, and that's all there is to it for the second paper of the higher tier. If you're taking your GCSEs this year, I'd like to wish you every success with your revision and every success with your exams, and we'll pick up with the actual questions in the next video.